Have you ever walked into a room, perhaps a coffee shop or a local community meeting, and felt an immediate, invisible barrier separate you from the people who actually seem to be making the decisions? You might be standing in line, perfectly dressed and prepared, yet you notice that the clerk or the organizer looks right through you to address the person behind you, the one who hasn't even opened their mouth yet, but somehow radiates an air of belonging that you can't quite grasp. You've likely gone home and felt that quiet, nagging resentment, wondering why you feel like a guest in your own neighborhood, or why your boss treats your well-researched emails as suggestions while treating your co-workers' casual comments as directives. You've been told by every self-help influencer on this platform to just be yourself or practice positive affirmations in the mirror, but you've realized that being yourself is exactly what's keeping you stuck in the background. The world doesn't reward your internal truth, it rewards the structural frequency you broadcast to the environment. The reason you are socially and professionally invisible is not a lack of confidence. That is a psychological myth sold to the managed class. The reason is that your speech lacks structural integrity. You are communicating on a frequency of dependency, using the language of someone who is waiting for permission to exist. In this masterclass, we move beyond the amateur desire to be liked and enter the clinical reality of being obeyed. We are not here to improve your conversation. We are here to install the Trinity architecture, a three-tiered system of vocal, lexical, and strategic governance that turns your voice into a physical boundary. If you are tired of being the ghost in the machine of your own life, it is time to stop speaking and start governing. I am Grace, and this is the inaugural session of the Cultural Decoder. We are here to dismantle the amateur mechanics of your delivery and replace them with a high-fidelity system of sovereignty. This is not a tutorial, it is a recalibration of your entire social identity. Before we move into the first forensic block, ensure you have subscribed to this channel and liked this session. This is the biometric signature of your commitment to the sovereign curriculum. For those who require the full technical breakdown and the archival data, I have provided the forensic PDF in the description below. Download it now to follow this 10,000-word manuscript in real time. There is a question we will leave suspended until the final transition of this hour. If the air in a room is a resource, who is breathing, and who is being breathed? The answer defines your trajectory from a social variable to a structural constant. To understand why you are currently being ignored, we must perform a clinical audit of how human status is actually calculated. We operate within the Trinity architecture, a hierarchical system consisting of the acoustic floor, the lexical anchor, and the strategic displacement. Today, we focus on the most fundamental layer, the hard floor. In everyday life, the common person speaks with what we call rising inflection or uptalk. They end their sentences with a slight lift in pitch, which psychologically signals to the listener that they are asking a question or seeking validation for the statement they just made. This is a massive status leak. It tells the room that you are not sure of your own reality and that you are waiting for the group to approve your message. The hard floor is the intentional, physical act of dropping your pitch at the very end of every sentence. It is the acoustic signal of a finished product. When you hit the hard floor, you are not inviting a response. You are stating a fact of the universe. This mechanism works in tandem with the phonetic anchor, where we stabilize the high-frequency sounds like the sibilant S, which usually sounds like a whistle of anxiety, and turn it into a grounded, executive tone. By combining a downward pitch with stabilized phonetics, you create a vocal weight that the listener's brain perceives as high status. You are no longer trying to be heard. You are making it physically impossible for the listener to find a hook to interrupt you. This is the beginning of linguistic sovereignty. You are defining the ground upon which the conversation stands. Walkthrough 1. Professional sovereignty, the interrupted update. Imagine a scenario. You are in a project update meeting. As you begin to explain the progress of your department, a senior colleague interrupts you to clarify a point you were just about to make, effectively stealing your momentum and your authority in front of the team. The non-Trinity scholars approach. Oh, sorry, yeah, I was actually just getting to that part because I know the data looks a bit confusing. So if you just let me finish this slide, I can explain why the numbers are actually okay, and then we can talk about it. Our analysis is, the non-Trinity scholar has committed 3 fatal errors. First, they apologized, "Oh, sorry," for being interrupted, which confesses social inferiority. Second, they used a rising inflection at the end of their plea, asking for permission to continue. Third, they used the word because, which provides a handle for the interrupter to grab and argue with. The entire response sounds like a child explaining a broken vase to a parent. The Trinity scholar's approach, the clarification is noted. We are currently addressing the data integration phase. The primary metrics will be finalized within this presentation. Questions will be processed upon the conclusion of the structural overview. Our analysis is that the Trinity scholar utilizes the hard flaw on every sentence. She does not apologize, she notes the interruption as a minor variable and then immediately re-establishes governance. By stating that questions will be processed, she defines the rules of the room. She uses syntactic compression, removing the because, to state her timeline as an immutable fact. She is no longer a person giving an update. She is the voice of the project itself. Walkthrough 2, Crisis Governance, the Customer Service Conflict. The scenario, you are at a store or an airport counter dealing with a service failure. The representative is being dismissive, giving you canned answers, and attempting to move you along so they can deal with the next person in line. The non-Trinity scholar, "I'm so frustrated because I've been waiting here for an hour and I really need to get this resolved today. So is there any way you can please check the system again, or maybe let me talk to your manager because this just isn't fair?" Forensic analysis. The non-Trinity scholar is communicating from a place of emotional reactivity. By saying "I'm frustrated and it isn't fair," they are using the language of the managed class, appealing to a sense of fairness that does not exist in a corporate system. The rising pitch at the end of "talk to your manager" makes the request a plea, which the representative feels safe to ignore. The Trinity scholar, the current service delay has exceeded the acceptable operational baseline. A manual override is required to finalize the transaction. We are identifying the authorized supervisor for this shift now. The resolution will be documented before the station is cleared. Forensic analysis. Our analysis is that the Trinity scholar uses categorical vocabulary to depersonalize the conflict. She doesn't say "I'm mad," she says the operational baseline has been exceeded. By using the hard flaw, she signals that she is not asking for a manager, she is identifying that one is now necessary. She creates a structural vacuum that the representative must fill with action rather than excuses. She has moved from being a complaining customer to being an auditor of the system. Walkthrough 3, Everyday Sovereignty, the Social Boundary. The scenario, you are at a casual gathering where a friend or acquaintance makes a subtle, backhanded compliment or a passive-aggressive joke at your expense to get a laugh from the group. The non-Trinity scholar, "Haha, that's not very nice. Why would you even say that? I've been working really hard on this and I think it's actually pretty good, so I don't know why you're being so mean today." Forensic analysis. The non-Trinity scholar has taken the bait. By laughing nervously and then asking "why would you say that?" they have signaled that the joke hurt them. They are seeking validation, "I think it's actually pretty good," from the very person who attacked them. The rising inflection makes them look weak and rattled in front of the group. The Trinity scholar, the attempt at humor is noted. The delivery, however, lacks social utility. We are returning the focus to the current topic. Personal anecdotes are a secondary variable. Forensic analysis. Our analysis is that the Trinity scholar utilizes atmospheric displacement. She does not get angry, she becomes bored. By labeling the joke as having low social utility, she frames the attacker as someone who is being tacky or unproductive rather than funny. The long 4-second pause after noted creates a hard floor that makes the attacker feel the weight of their own mistake. She does not defend herself because the sovereign does not need to defend what is already a fact. Key takeaways. The resolution to our opening question, who is breathing and who is being breathed, is now within your grasp. The person who sets the hard floor is the one who defines the air. If you speak with a rising pitch, you are breathing the exhaust of those who lead. If you speak with downward inflection, you are the one creating the atmosphere. 1. Install the hard floor. Every sentence must end with a drop in pitch. Do not ask for permission to be finished speaking. 2. Depersonalize the conflict. Replace I feel and I want with the situation requires and the baseline necessitates. And 3. Master the strategic pause. Silence is not a gap, it is a weapon. Use it to force others to adjust to your frequency. Your homework. For the next 48 hours, you are on a vocal fast. You are prohibited from using the word I to start a sentence in any professional or service-related interaction. You will perform a connective audit on your speech, eliminate the word because. Every time you want to explain why you are doing something, you will stop, count to 2, and simply state what is happening using a downward pitch. Record yourself speaking for 60 seconds tonight and listen for the uptalk. If you find it, delete the recording and start again until every sentence hits the floor. I am Grace. We do not speak to be understood. We speak to be obeyed. See you in the next frame.